lovely emotive tune we have just heard as our introduction to the letter Z is one of the most popular hymn tunes in the English-speaking world, Amazing Grace.
The words were composed in 1779 by John Newton, the tough, debauched former seaman and slave trader who experienced a Pauline conversion and became a great Christian priest, poet and abolitionist, a major influence on William Wilberforce, who finally succeeded in securing the abolition of slavery in the British Empire in 1807. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
When first written, the hymn was sung to several tunes, but in 1835, the American composer William Walker in South Carolina produced a musical Marriage Made in Heaven by putting Newton's words to the tune New Britain, by which it is now recognised throughout the world.
Actually, this tune itself seems to have been a marriage too, a combination of two older folk tunes whose origins are lost in the mists of time, but could have come from Scotland with early emigrants to southern states of America. They were probably sung by the slaves on the plantations. Perhaps Newton himself had heard them in his slave trading days.
Whatever its origins, the tune and Newton's words are indissolubly linked and known together now as Amazing Grace, whose continued popularity is also amazing.
A performance by the pipes and drums of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards took it to number one on the charts for many weeks in 1972 in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, Canada and South Africa.
It naturally featured in the 2006 film Amazing Grace about the abolitionist movement in England and Newton's influence on Wilberforce.
And it has been estimated that the song is still played, sung or performed somewhere in the world at least 10 million times a year. Like the English language.
And the abolition of slavery.
It has been a great British export to the world.
But before we begin our study of the last letter of the alphabet, let's have another song. In English villages like Olney, where John Newton was a priest and wrote Amazing Grace, there is usually a pub near the church.
And after the Sunday morning church service, there is a tradition of going to the local pub for a beer or two before going home for Sunday lunch of roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
Or roast lamb and mint sauce with delicious, crispy roast potatoes all round it in a gravy.
So let's go from the sublime to the ridiculous, from singing hymns in the church to a sing-song in the pub, which has a piano.
We'll go to the pub where we sang There Is a Tavern in the Town as our introduction to the letter T. And in honour of the letter Z, we'll sing Daisy Bell, another song and tune with American connections.
Unlike Amazing Grace, it doesn't have a letter Z in the title, but it does have the same sound in the letter S of Daisy.
And we do get a Z in the second line of the song in the word crazy.
Hello. And now we've filled up our mugs and tankards with good English ale.
And Tish is at the piano to play for us.
Let's get the professor to fill his lungs with ozone and propose marriage to Daisy yet again.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'd look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle made for two.
Bravo!
This pop song was a tremendous hit in the London music halls and then in America when it was written in 1892. The story goes that its English composer, Harry Dacre, got the idea when he went to America and was charged customs duty on the bicycle he brought over with him. When he complained about this to a friend, The friend replied that it was just as well he hadn't brought a bicycle made for two. Otherwise, he could have been charged double. Well, Dacre was very taken with this expression for a tandem, a bicycle made for two, and it inspired this hit song. It's also claimed by some that the Daisy referred to in the song was King Edward VII's mistress, Daisy Greville, Countess of Warwick. And that wouldn't be surprising, as royal and aristocratic peccadillos were often lampooned in the music halls.
Thank you, Professor, but we must get on with our study of the letter Z.
Yes, of course. But let's just sing Daisy, Daisy again, all together this time. Tish, if you would be so kind. All together now.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, oh, for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle made for two. Cheers.
Crazy Ezra amazed Elizabeth. The last letter in the alphabet, Z,
whose name rhymes with red in English, not with fee as in American usage,
is one of the simplest of all letters in having only one sound and never being silent.
The sound is the same as the hard S1 sound in busy or wise. Let's recall how we made it.
In fact, let's start with soft S1. Then we can see, hear and feel again the difference between making the soft S1 sound and making hard S1, which is the same sound as that of Z.
For the soft S1 sound that we hear in words like since or hiss, you start with your mouth relaxed and your lips slightly open. You then lift your chin and tongue so that the upper sides of your tongue are pressing against the bottom of your upper side teeth. You leave a very small gap between the end of your tongue and the back of your upper front teeth, and you make the soft S1 hissing sound by blowing air through this gap. Listen and watch carefully as we make the soft S1 sound again and say a few words containing it.
S, s, sit, sit, since, sausage, Mississippi.
Now you say the soft S1 sound and say those words.
And note the spelling of the splendidly sibilant Mississippi, Old Man River. For the hard S1 and Z sounds of his, fizz or zinc, the basic mouth shape is much the same as for soft S1, except that you must press the top sides of your tongue harder against your upper side teeth and must feel the air vibrating or buzzing along your soft palate, especially at the back and on the surface of your tongue. And whether your chin moves down or up depends on whether the sound is being made preparatory to a vowel sound or following one.
As usual, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so watch and listen as we make the sound and say some words with Z and with hard S1, which have the same sound.
Z, Z, Zanzibar, zinc, zoo.
Z, Z, crazy, drizzle, puzzle.
Busy, wise, advertise, sausages, haze.
Now you make the sound and say those words.
And note how when we have more than one sausage, and one sausage is never enough, it keeps its two soft S1 sounds, but the third S, which we add to make the plural, sausages, has the hard S1 sound, which is the same as that of Z. And here are some further examples to practice. Listen first. Zambia, Zambezi, zap, zeal, zealous, zed,
Zebra, zebu, zero, zeta,
zigzag, zip, zither,
zombie, zoom, zeugma,
dazzle, frazzle, embezzle,
drizzle, frizzle, sizzle,
guzzle, muzzle, puzzle,
blaze, daze, gaze, craze, haze,
laze, maze, amaze, raise, razor,
breeze, freeze, sneeze,
wizard, gizzard, Elizabeth, Lizzie,
prize, size,
dozen, frozen,
doze, booze, snooze, zoo,
azalea, azure, enzyme, ads, buzz.
Now you practice all those lovely words and note that azure can be pronounced either with a short or a long A sound, azure or azure.
There are some interesting words in that list, aren't there? If you don't know what they all mean, do look them up in your dictionary and make a note of them in your vocabulary book.
The verb raise, for example, means destroy, but sounds exactly the same as the verb raise, meaning lift something up.
Lizzie is one of the affectionate abbreviations of Elizabeth, and we could add Eliza,
Remember Eliza Doolittle?
and Lisa, in which the Z becomes hard S1 and the I usually changes to long I3 so that it rhymes with Pisa.
And doesn't Zambezi sound wonderful? Its very name evokes the great living river in Africa.
Just like Kipling's great grey-green, greasy Limpopo River, all set about with fever trees, in his Just So story, How the Elephant Got His Trunk.
As for zeugma, which derives from a Greek word meaning adjoining or yoking together, it is a technical term for when you connect a word or phrase with two others when only one of those others is appropriate to it, or one of them is to be understood in a different way.
It is as though you yoked a horse and an ox to the same cart, instead of a pair of horses or a pair of oxen. Charles Dickens had a lot of fun with this.
She went straight home in a flood of tears and a sedan chair.
Mr. Pickwick took his hat and his leave.
Now you say those two sentences, for although they haven't a Z between them,
Only the same hard S1 sound in tears and his.
we're on the last letter, and of course you should be able to pronounce almost anything.
Now listen to the beginning of a song made popular by Maurice Chevalier, which contains both Z and hard S1.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise.
Except that he used to sing it in English with his famous French accent.
But we mustn't be too flippant, even if we are at the end of the alphabet. Let's have a tongue twister now with at least one Z or hard S1 in every word.
Dozens gazed amazed as Lizzie's zither blazed.
Had she been playing it so fast that it caught fire, I wonder?
Speculation is in vain. Just try saying the sentence yourself.
And now let's end this happily easy last letter with our opening sentence. Listen to it again.
Crazy Ezra amazed Elizabeth.
Now you say this.
For once, easy.
Opening sentence.
And so we have come to the end of the study of the individual letters of the alphabet, both singly and in combination with others. But the course is by no means finished, and you are now going to be put through the professor's ultimate test. His tremendous single sentence that includes virtually all the sounds and combinations we have studied. When you can read this correctly, you will have achieved complete mastery of English pronunciation and be in the top 1% of English speakers worldwide. So, fasten your safety belt and get ready now to follow the text as the professor reads it to us. And then you can practice the ultimate sentence.
The ultimate sentence. Language and culture being inextricably and necessarily interconnected, it is only right and proper that the great nation of China, as she adopts useful aspects of Western culture to fuse with her own brilliant and ancient civilization, in her inexorable growth and development into the world's leading economic power, which seems destined to overtake the United States of America in the relatively near future, should have available to the elites of her vast, dynamic, energetic, hard-working, dedicated, committed, and highly intelligent population the means to acquire what is generally considered to be the very finest, most universally comprehensible, cultured, attractive, and impressive form of the world's current international language. That is to say, the language that this English speech and pronunciation course was designed to teach. The beautiful, elegant, precise, prestigious, and globally admired speech and pronunciation of cultured and refined English ladies and gentlemen, and the communication skills of graduates of Cambridge University, scholars of the quality that the great Confucius would have found congenial, taught by an excitingly modern, revolutionary, completely new, absorbing and exhilarating method of instruction, whereby students have the advantage of seeing as well as hearing the classical form of English explained and spoken to them by expert tutors and British actors, who are all well-known stars of the theatre, films and television, on some 20 hours of gripping video, in such a way that they are made to feel that it is like being in the same room with their teachers, or taking part in the rehearsals for a splendid dramatic production, while at the same time having the full text before them so that they can hear, see, read, and practice every word, phrase, and sentence, using solely the real alphabet in which English is written and which we all have to use, beginning logically with A and ending with Z, and they can learn and absorb all the sounds that each letter can make, both alone and in combination with others, having all the information constantly reinforced, not only overtly and obviously, but also subconsciously through the underlying subtlety of the text, being able to go back and study again as often as they like any parts of particular difficulty, having the benefit of studying wherever and whenever is convenient to them, and constantly enjoying amazing tongue twisters, gloriously convoluted and ingeniously crafted sentences, much clever humour, fascinating snippets of historical information, poems, songs and music with the professor himself playing the xylophone, and the literally thousands of delightful, memorable, and relevant illustrations that adorn the practice screens, all of which provide a pleasant leavening for what is a really hard and tough course. Inevitably so, as English is a difficult language. Nothing worthwhile in life is easy, and there is no gain without pain. But for those who already have a reasonably good basic working knowledge of English, and the willpower and determination to work hard at it and see it through, this course will provide an extremely valuable and effective key to help them open doors and climb rapidly to the top of their professions, whatever field they are in, whether budding statesmen, diplomats, government officials, officers of the armed forces, interpreters, translators, students, either in the humanities or the sciences, professors, lecturers, teachers, language tutors, journalists, broadcasters, actors, writers, publishers, historians, geographers, philosophers, cross-border lawyers and attorneys, international bankers and accountants, business executives, hotel proprietors and staff, travel agents and others involved in tourism, industrialists, manufacturers, contractors, financial and management consultants, economists, importers and exporters, physicians, doctors, surgeons, clinicians, anaesthetists, psychiatrists, architects, archaeologists, geologists, mechanical and electrical engineers, and all kinds of scientists, both theoretical and applied, including biologists, medical researchers, chemists, geneticists, nuclear, particle and quantum physicists, astronomers, electronics experts, agriculturalists, and indeed all academics who present papers at international conferences and wish to be listened to with comprehension, respect and admiration, not find themselves losing face and being embarrassed by speaking to a near-empty lecture hall because their English is inadequate or not easily understood, or even laughed at behind their backs. For, as the poet and playwright Shakespeare wisely and truly said, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, and we must not only learn our lines correctly, but learn to deliver them attractively, fluently, naturally, and persuasively, if we wish to get the good parts in life's best plays, secure leading roles, gain rapid promotion, and every morning at breakfast feel ready to face the forthcoming day with confidence and trust in the knowledge that we know how to speak to succeed, and so do our best for ourselves, our families and loved ones, and our country, and realize our potential, our dreams, and our most treasured ambitions and aspirations.